Welcome here to another episode in the word challenge. My name is Lisbeth, I'm Danish, so pardon my sometimes very bumpy English, but hopefully you can understand what I'm saying. I do a lot of different things, and my content is divided up in all kinds of different playlists, so look what interests you and skip the other things. But this word challenge here is not my invention. It is Rita Summers who is hosting this challenge. So under the little word more here, you can find information about this challenge. And also you can find information about everything else I'm talking about. My own Stitch Circle Show challenge for this year and for last year, and other things I'm mentioning will be here under the little word more. And I don't think I want to say so much more other than, but if anybody wants to support my channel or my challenges I have been going on myself, you are able to, because there are links for a PayPal account and for a Ko-fi account, and you can use them if you want to, but in any way don't feel obligated. And for those of you who are supporting me, thank you. It means a lot to me. You don't know how much, but it really does. So this year's word challenge here is a really big challenge for me, because I'm certainly not a word person. And some of the weeks I have a party and it is a joy to make them, and other weeks, oh my God, I really struggle. Because as I said, I'm not one who is get inspired by a word. I get inspired by colors, shapes, textures, and things I see in nature or abstract things. I'm not into doing things you can see what it is. So it's a little hard for me sometimes, but I will manage, and I will do this year, because that is a challenge in itself, and I like a good challenge. But this is book number 2 here. I have another one, and this was where I left you here with in week 30. Oh, sorry, this was where I left you last week. So week 31, and it was curly. And now here I'm ready I have a place for putting in what I will be doing today. And at one point I will make a cover for these two. You can see this is the first book here, and it is so chunky and fat, so yeah. But so it must be, and it is red because not this year, but in this challenge I have decided to use only red, white and black. And that is also a thing that doesn't make it particularly easy for me, because some of the words don't fit very well to this color scheme here. But I will make the best of it, and as soon as I have decided what to do, I am enjoying doing it, and that is also a big part of doing these things. Enjoy what you're doing. But let us get started, and I will tell you what the word is. So the word here for week 32 is hope. And of course I know the word already. It's not a word that is not known to me. And when I think of the word, I think in the big picture, when I hear the word hope, I of course would really hope that this world would be a better place for all of us who lives on it. And I would really hope that we would treat the world and people better, that we all would do our best to keep everyone happy and safe. And I wish that could be fulfilled, that hope, but people are crazy and doing crazy things, so it is probably too much to hope for, but I really would like this world to be a better place. And in the small picture, just what I am hoping for personally is, of course, I'm turning 70 years in December, and I hope I will have many, many more creative years and a good health, and live a life as I do right now, because I really love my life as it is right now, but that is a very personal thing. So I hope for many, many more years without any health issues or other bad things happening to persons of family or friends I like or love. So that is what the word hope means to me in the big picture and in the very small picture. And how could I represent that? Yeah, of course I could write the words hope, but I'm not, again, the word isn't me like that. So I have been rumbling around here in all the black, white and red fabrics I have found. And I have found a print here. It's from a friend. I don't know what she has been using it for, or she has been practicing, or how she has done it. I don't know that, but I think I will use that image, that tree here, because that could give hope or mean hope for the world. It's round like the world is, and a tree of life and hope. I think this could represent. So I will cut it up, and then I will show you a way to apply it on my substrate, and then I would decide what to embroider on it. And again, here I have my black substrate, and I have cut a piece of an old duvet cover off and placed it on the back, and then I have been sewing it on with invisible basting. And I've shown you this a ton of time, but if anybody is new here, yeah, a warm welcome to you, of course. And I can quickly show it to you. The invisible basting is, as it says, sewing two pieces of fabric together so it's invisible. And you come up in the fabric and go a couple of threads back in the fabric and come up about 1 centimeter ahead of you. And that is all you do all the time. Couple of threads back, come up 1 centimeter ahead of you. And I know it's difficult to see here in this black, but that means that here on the front side you will have the smallest dots of stitches, or on the back side you will have these long stitches. And it's so smart and so nice to do it this way, because it's not meaning you have to pick it up like if you're doing basting with big long stitches all over. That is the meaning you should pick them up when you're done what you want to do. But here they just sit there, and that is a nice thing about this. I learned them from a friend many years ago. She was a very skilled seamstress, and she has been, I told it in another video, but she was educated from a very famous designer, and she could sew like an angel, and she had sewn clothes for our royal family and so on. And yeah, she doesn't live anymore, but she learned me this, and if I should translate it, what she was calling it, she called it prick stitches, and I think people who are sewing their garments and other things are calling it prick stitches and not invisible basting, but that's another story. So now I will show you how we can apply around things down very easily. I have a set of these cardstock or watercolor circles I have cut all out, and I use them for when I'm doing round applicating, so other things that ought to be round. And I think this one here fits in size you can use them many times. You don't stitch into them or make holes into them. So that's just me who has several of them. But cut a piece of cardstock out in a circle that is about a centimeter wider all around than the thing you want to applique. But first I want to cut this out here, and then I can cut it around later. Here. And away with that. So yeah, I can see that is a little too small. So what do a wise woman do? Do I have another one? No, it is too small. I will cut another one. I could take a smaller circle, of course. So I just taken a smaller circle, and I think I just will place it here. I can see through it, so I can see I got all the things inside here. And I would just turn it over and cut it around here. So there. And then I will find a pen and draw a line. So just draw a line here so I have some things to stitch after. It doesn't matter what you use for drawing it, because it's on the back side and you won't be able to see it. So something like this here. It isn't very easy. It's because I have this felt under and it's soft and yeah. So here it is. So I've just taken some normal sewing cotton, and you can put a knot at the end, or you don't have to, but when you start doing the running stitches here in the line and pull it through, leave about 5 centimeters or so, and then I just go up and down and up and down here all the way around. And you don't need to see me do that, so I will be back when I'm all the way around. So now I have been all the way around and gone a little further in. So now I will place my circle here, and then I will start pulling in these threads here. And hopefully the circle will be inside here. That is a little fiddling around here, but it's a quite thin fabric I have chosen, and that isn't perhaps the easiest fabric to do it in. So think I will just do it like this here and put it inside afterwards if I can. That's no, I don't think that is going to work, but of course I could put a pin in it. That would perhaps be easier. So if I put it there and put some needles in it, and here I have some of these small needles. See if that works better. The smaller your circles are, the more easy it is. It is a little big, this thing here for this. Yeah. So now let us see if it will work better here. I don't think it would work very well. What do a wise woman do? I've done this so many times. I've never had so many troubles here like I have this on this here. And perhaps I need a smaller circle than this one here instead. But do I have that? Let's see here. Yeah, you can see that is much easier here. So again, but then I think I will be missing two. Yeah, I won't get the circle of this print, but if I just have all the tree thing there, it's okay. But this is how it was supposed to work. And I can fiddle a little around with it because I think I don't like to have this black line. Yeah, and if I want it all the way around to be seen. So I will just fiddle a little around here. And then you make some knots here on the thread here, and I've taken a double thread because it was so big there. So I can just move it a little around here like this, and I think it is fine now. Here. So I will place it there, and then I will embroider something around it instead. So, lesson learned. Do a little more than a centimeter around it before you do it. So it will be a little smaller than I thought it would, but then I have room for embroidery. So now I will take it to my iron and just give it a good ironing so it will be nice and round. And then I can take this disc out here. So I will be back when it's ironed. So now it is ironed and I can remove this paper circle here and hurry and put it down here so it is still sitting flat. And normally if you would applicate on, you would, well, let me see if I can come in a little closer. You would come up from behind and take the smallest bite of the fabric here and go down here into the black and so on all the way around, so you can hardly see it, and you can find several videos on how you do that. But since I'm going to stitch around it and stitch into it, I don't, it is not necessary for me to applicate on the normal way. So here, to keep this in place, I will just give it a dab of glue here in the middle. So far so good, and place it again. And you can of course measure or just eyeball it like I'm doing now. Sometimes I take my finger and so, but you can take a ruler and see how that is a little under 3, and here it's a little over 3. Yeah, you have to put it this way a little. So now it's 3, and now it's 3, and you can do the same here. It's a little over 3 and a little, yeah, it's also go a little up if you want it totally in the middle. So there it is, and on with the lid for this one. So I'm thinking about what kind of stitches I want to use, and I don't think I have been using the fly stitch very much, so I think I will go for a round of them here, and that is how I do this. So I think I will make them quite big here. Come up, and then the same level there, down, and up in the middle here, there, and no knots here, please, 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 not now, I'm not in the mood for that. Here, there, and then I will just go in to the circle there. That is the fly stitch. And to place them some even, you can of course just eyeball it. You can take a bigger circle and place it so you know where to put them. But also I like to put, I can take another thread and start another place, because I like to put them in here at 12 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 3 o'clock and 9 o'clock, and then here again in the middle, and then here in again in the middle, because then I got them, I know I got them even spaced out. So that is what I will be doing. You can of course just have a long thread here on the back, but that is not nice to work with, so I just end it here. And since nobody is going to rumble around with it, I don't secure it very much. So here again I will say, here about here, I think it's 3 o'clock. And all this is depending on how neat or even you want to space your things. You don't have to, you can also just jump in and eyeball it. That's also an option. Then you come up here, and in this case here, the length of the stalk or stem, or we can call it, is decided by where I want to go down here. So it ends here, like that. And I will do that there and there and there and there. and then I will be back. So the 4 stitches are there, then you can see it is easy to find the middle, and then again I will just find the middle of these 2, and here I'm just eyeballing it. And don't take a little nap there, not nap, but a little bite. So here I can go in between. And I think I only want 1 because then I can get around more. So that I will make them double. There. And a little bite there. And here the same. Here. And down. And up. And a little bite here of the circle here. I think this stitch is very nice with a tree here. So now again I will find the middle here of these 2 stitches, and it's about there. So I will go out there, about there. And now, right now I'm just letting my thread go here and up, and take a little bite here, like that. So I will be doing that all the way around, and then I can show it to you. So I have been all the way around, and here there it is, and you can see they are still wonky, but they are spread out somehow very even. So now I have just taken a darker color red, and then I do exactly the same, but I come up in the middle of these 2 here, and then I go down in the next one in the middle and come up here in the middle there. And into the loop. Yeah. And just take the smallest bite here of the circle there. So you overlap them or pleat them, or what we can call it, and then you come up in the same where you came up, like you did go down, come up here. You can also just do them side by side here. It isn't so important that it's exactly the same place. But I will go up a little higher, I think, and in the middle there, and take a little bite of the circle there. And you can play with this here till your heart contents, with overlapping them smaller and wider and longer and whatever you fancy to do with them. Come up here a little higher in the middle of the 2 previous stitches, and down and take a little bite. It's perhaps not so easy to see here, but on the black fabric, but it looks very nice. Up in the same hole here, there, down here, up in the middle of that one, and up here in the middle of these 2 previous stitches there, and the V, and down there, up here in that stitch there, down here in the middle, and up here, so they are quite bigger compared to the other ones, so they will go out a little further here. That way you can make it the circle grow if you want to, or you could have made them smaller also if you wanted that. Up here in the same hole, down here, and up here in the middle, there. And now my thread is double and I don't want that. And take a little bite here and go down. So as you can see in this case here, I didn't applicate on it because it isn't necessary, because I'm stitching into the circumference here all the way around. But if I didn't have done that, I could have applicated on here, and then I could have done something just going around there. But now I've chosen to do this instead. And that's again, I don't know what it would end up with when I start. I'll take it as it comes and let things develop. And if you're not into that, you will have to have a big plan before you start. And I don't always have that. Sometimes it is so nice because something happens and you see new possibilities or options in it you wouldn't have seen if you have a totally fit plan in your head. So I will do this all the way around, and then I will see if it needs much more. Perhaps I could do some small French knots here where the lines here are crossing. Yeah, I will see to that when I'm done, but it looks like that now. So I have been all around with these double fly stitches here, and I don't think I want to stitch into this tree here of hope. So but on the other hand, I think it could need some light here in the circumference. So I have taken a much thicker cotton thread, mercerized cotton thread, and I will make some French knots here in the light, in between the two legs of the latest and biggest fly stitch I make, the one I made in this color, the second round. And I have taken another needle, and I think I will go for just 3 rounds because it is quite thick. 1, 2, 3, and down nearly in the same hole as I came up. Keep the tension here on my thread and pull your thread slowly through. And here, the only thing that's a little important here when you're doing French knot is that you have a needle with an eye that isn't bigger than the rest of the needle, because when you pull all these wraps over it, it is much easier if you have a can I find one here? If you're having a chenille needle where the head is, or the eye is much bigger than the rest of the needle. So that is the only thing to consider. 1, 2, 3, down nearly in the same hole. Keep your tension here with your thumb and slowly pull through here. There, and then you get the finest knots. It took much less time to make the second round of the fly stitches because you have spaced the first round so nice, so it goes quite easier the second time around. Then you don't have to think about where you're placing your stitches. It gives itself. 1, 2, 3, and down nearly in the same hole. Keep the tension and slowly pull your thread through here. Yeah, and it really gives it lightens up the piece here, I think, with these white dots all the way around. 1, 2, 3, and down here. So I will just sew them all the way around, and then I nearly think it is done. I don't think it needs much more, but see here how it looks much more nice. I will be back when I'm done with this. So here it is done with all the French knots, and I think it looks lovely, and I'm quite satisfied with it. I didn't know what else to do with the word hope, but if it all did went out and hug the tree and hope for the best for the world, that could perhaps work. But yeah, I don't know. But this is how my piece hope ended up. So now I will take a picture of it and find my book and a double-sided tape and put it in the book. So let us put some double-sided tape here on, and hope it works as good as it has done most of the year with this tape, instead of last year where I struggled. But I think it's another brand, and because it is so much wider, that's perhaps why it's much easier. But I just finish it down here with my scissor, and yeah, that was underway with that, and in here with my book. Turn it around, and it's right side up here. Just place it, the roots down and the leaves and the top of the tree here. There are some, I don't know what that is. And again, I will just take here my pen and write 32 and hope. Little hearts. So that was it. If you're participating in this challenge and you have a difficult time, I hope this perhaps can help you a little to see what you can do with stitches and a little image. If you don't have a fabric with that image like I have, you can always look in magazines for something and sew that piece in, and if you think it's too flimsy, you can back it with some what is it called, bondaweb, or some of the things that will give it a little more sturdiness, and sew around that. Or there are so many options, and some of you will probably come up with a lot of other things that I'm doing, and that is the exciting thing about these challenges, is to see what other people are coming up with. But my piece ended this way, and I had no idea when I started, other than I had found this image. But the rest of it evolved step by step. After doing this, I would do that, and after that I would do that, and so on. So that's the way I really like to work here in this challenge here. But if you have been inspired and you perhaps have learned some tips and tricks here by looking at my video, I hope you will give it a thumbs up, and I hope you will consider subscribing my little Danish channel. That would be very much appreciated. Hit the notification bell and you will get a message every time new content is coming up. And give me a comment. I really like to read your comments and answer me anything. Not about the world situation, but about things with this stitching, and perhaps about the thread or whatever it is about these things you want to ask me, and I answer everybody. I will promise you that. But else I will just round this video up and say, please be nice to yourself, and please be nice to everybody. Be creative, stay playful, and get the most out of your life as possible for you. And hopefully time will be better for our children and grandchildren. That is a big hope. So let us say that. So that is all I will say now. So bye bye for now, and I don't know if I'm home next Saturday and making a little movie again, but we'll see. But else there are other things coming up here during the next couple of weeks. So bye bye for now.